Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Keith Edwards. A Chetek teen says he was suspended from school for wearing a sweatshirt reading "Virginity Rocks."
Nothing's changed. No matter how much money you make, no matter how famous you get, you still were the same person.
All right, dude, so let's start with your story. Do we start with physical therapy, or where do we start?
When people ask you what you do, what do you say?
I don't know, really. Just like make stupid videos and sell shit, like merch.
Any person who isn't familiar with Danny Duncan probably unknowingly knows him one way or another. Either it be from popular social medias recommending his content like YouTube and TikTok, or it be through his mega successful brand, specifically the Virginity Rocks apparel that flooded into the pop culture scene very recently, which probably explains why some people wear his apparel but don't even know who Danny Duncan is. But it's not just the Danny Duncan 69 brand that he's widely known for. It's the "I would never do this in my life" type of content that he's mainly recognized for, and what ultimately made him this successful. Danny consistently finds ways to amaze viewers with his carefree content, often spending a large sum of his money on whatever to entertain himself and the viewers, whether it be him fooling around like crashing into cars or buying a house for his mother. He never fails to entertain, and that's a fact. But just how did this once damn near homeless guy make it to the top doing basically whatever he wants for a living? Well, that's something I want to take a look into. Join me as we take a deep dive into Danny Duncan's rise to stardom. This should be good. We start off in Inglewood, Florida, where Danny Duncan was born, specifically July 27, 1992. He was raised alongside his sister by a single mother, Susan Davis, as she worked as a bartender to provide for the family, but often finding herself struggling to make ends meet. His father, Scott Duncan, was around too, but not much information is presented about him. Danny attended 𝐒𝐿𝐼 Elementary, LA Anger Middle School, and Lemon Bay High School, where he played sports such as baseball, track, and cross country, while often skateboarding as a hobby. This is also the time we see some of the earliest videos of Danny Duncan on the internet, which basically shows how Danny Duncan was as a teen in high school.
Cardillo, they were that, and they dropped, I think, minutes off their 200 time.
Round one. Go, Danny, go! Go, Danny, go! Go, Danny, go!
Needless to say, it shows that Danny Duncan's humorous personality and his approach to life remained the same, even when the eventual fame and money would come into his life. Danny graduated from Lemon Bay High School in 2010 and went straight to Florida State College, but would drop out a couple months later because of, boredom. Soon after, Danny would go on to work at Walgreens for some time, but would quit a couple months later and find himself working at recreational centers like the YMCA. It was also around this time when he decided to become a sports trainer.
So I had been around skating like my whole life. Yep. And then I was involved in sports my whole life, and then I was like, I'm not fucking going pro. I wanted to be involved in sports still, so I just switched to training athletes. So I started working with athletes a lot.
He even had a channel named Danny Duncan PT that was dedicated to training and stretching athletes. Created in 2012, this page featured compilations of highlights from the people Danny trained, and videos of Danny giving tips on anything about sports. It's also important to note that this was his first channel too.
Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. This is going to be a great exercise for the more advanced skateboarder. It's going to work a lot on developing more pop and working on your balance.
One thing that this channel has that Danny Duncan's main channel doesn't is the professionalism in his videos. Something you would never see today. It's honestly as if this took place in an alternative world. And it's crazy that this channel is still on YouTube. You can go and have a look for yourself. It's actually interesting. But it wasn't just the YouTube channel though. Danny also had a website for promoting his brand and a Twitter and Instagram page focused on stretching athletes. It wasn't until Danny saw Zion Wright's Florida Days videos that influenced Danny's decision from helping athletes in general to specifically start training and stretching skateboarders.
So I did this thing called like active isolated stretching. Basically it was like massage, but it's not massage, it's stretching. So it's like, you know, supposed to help your like legs and everything better. And I feel like skaters are just like killing their bodies, but no one helps them. So I was like, I want to do this. And I saw Zion Wright's like Florida Days part, hit him up on Instagram, and then he was like, yeah, I'm down to do that. And I'd like talk to his dad and stuff. And then that's who I started working with first.
Zion, often recognized as one of the best skateboarders of his generation, started skateboarding at the age of 4, but gained popularity through the internet at a young age. Danny capitalized on this opportunity and started working with Zion Wright while simultaneously building his resume as a personal trainer. Danny continued his successful personal training job in Inglewood, Florida for a while, but it wasn't long until he realized that he had to make a risky decision and take his talents to Los Angeles. That meant leaving behind something in Florida that was already doing well, but it was obvious that Danny had bigger plans than that. June 11th, 2014, Danny moved to Los Angeles in hopes of reaching new heights. 2014 was also the year he started his main channel, which we're going to dive into in a moment. But when Danny moved to Los Angeles, it was an immediate struggle as he only had $32 secured in a Ziploc bag and often had trouble finding places to sleep. He found himself couch surfing at different people's homes, and it even went as far as him using the dating app Tinder to meet girls and stay at their houses. Boss move. But there would be times when it got worse, as sometimes he had to sleep in trains and buses when he had nowhere else to sleep.
I would stay in like Florida, like I would live at my cousin's house, like sleep in my little cousin's room, like just on the floor. Then I would come to LA for like 4 months and just like couch surf, sleep in cars, like floors, trains, buses, like anywhere I could.
You would sleep in a train?
Yeah, just like wherever.
Okay. I don't even know where the trains are in LA.
Yeah, there's like, they're underground. And but they run till like, you know, in the, like late in the morning, so you could like sleep on that and then you could hop on a bus.
Oh, you're serious?
Yeah, yeah.
You actually used to sleep on trains?
Yeah, yeah, not like a lot, but like, you know, like 10 times probably.
Holy shit.
But it's
started
like
from the bottom, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. There was this.
So you're like homeless, basically.
Yeah, for sure. There was this apartment place called the Lorenzo. It was like this upscale place in downtown LA, and I would like just walk in there like I was like a student because it's like for college kids. Okay. And I would just like crash there until they kicked me out. And they would kick you out.
Like what? You sleep on like the lobby couches?
Yeah, they'd have like, because it's like a big place, so they'd have like these upstairs like places. I would sleep there till like 4 a.m. and then you gotta leave, and then I'm like, oh sorry, I fell asleep studying.
It was tough, but at the same time, Danny being in Los Angeles would help him tremendously, as he now had more opportunities with the personal training and YouTube channel. He also came to LA because of Chris Chan, and let's just say, without Chris Chan, there wouldn't be the Danny Duncan we know today.
So I was like doing the stretching and shit, and then I made YouTube, and I was just posting like, if you roll your ankle, here's some tips on how to fix it. Okay. So I was doing these type of videos, and Chris reached out to me on Facebook, and he was also doing YouTube, and he was kind of like showing me like, hey, like I'm making like this on YouTube, and I was like, it was crazy because I was sitting in Florida. I mean, I remember exactly where I was sitting, dude. Like the dining room table I was sitting at, like it's crazy. Like I can vividly, like on the laptop, like I remember exactly when we were talking for the first time. Like
Chris Chan took Danny under his wing and showed him the ropes on YouTube, while also giving Danny a place to sleep in his house for as long as he needed. This strengthened their friendship, as now it wasn't just two aspiring YouTubers collaborating together. No, now it was two friends making YouTube videos together. They eventually made numerous videos on Chris Chan's channel and Danny Duncan's channel. It was around this time when Chris Chan noticed that Danny Duncan was using whatever YouTube money he had to save up for a used car just to get around and sleep.
But I remember on my birthday, so that was like 4 years ago, and you just don't celebrate your birthday really because you have no money and there's no one really, you just hang out. Like me and Chris would just fuck around, but it was my birthday. We pulled up to his house, and then I remember he just gives me a card, and I open it and stuff, and then it was like it was for like a used car, and it was like, I don't know.
And I remember him saying like, man, if I just had like a car, I'd be able to stay out here for like, a little bit longer. And he's just like, he was just like right there. His channel was like starting to like do really well, and he's just like right there. And like, I already knew he was gonna do well already.
This generous move by Chris would help Danny, as he no longer needed help finding places to sleep, and he could now put more of his focus on YouTube and personal training. As time went on in Los Angeles, Danny began working with well-known people in the skating industry, like Nyjah Huston and Trevor Colden. This, in return, helped him as he was becoming more known in the skating industry, and it eventually led him to get referred to none other than legendary skateboarder Jason Lee.
Dude, I'll give you $100 and I'll take out the Benihana's if you slide that 75-foot handrail. I'll give you 600 tries. I'll be back next week. Nah.
Jason Lee is a popular actor and skater who originally gained popularity through skating in the 90s. Over the years, he slowly started getting into the acting field and saw success as he played in popular shows and movies such as the comedy series My Name is Earl. He played as Syndrome in the successful movie The Incredibles, and he played as Dave in the popular yet heavily criticized movie Alvin and the Chipmunks. Years after those shows and movies, Jason Lee found another role in a movie and needed help training for the role. Danny was hired by Jason Lee to help him train for a role in a movie in 2014. It was around this time when Jason Lee realized that Danny was actually funny and told him he should try out acting.
People, especially in skating, like everyone's a big fan of Jason Lee, and like he's like hilarious. And when he was like, "Yeah, I think you do well," and he's like, "You're funny," I was like, "Well, fuck, dude." It gave me just so much confidence to like go for it, you know.
In addition, Jason told him that he needed to grow his social media such as YouTube and Instagram. That was all the words Danny needed as he switched up his channel from a professional tips and tricks channel to the now more outlandish what the fuck type channel. Mid-2014 would mark the start of the complete rebrand of his channel, as he started posting videos that consisted of him messing around, while also making it original by adding his fun, ongoing personality. For the viewers who were only familiar with the professional side of Danny, this was the first time they really got to see Danny Duncan be himself. Nonetheless, growing and focusing on the channel would be all but easy for Danny, as he was still met with struggles such as having to go back and forth to Los Angeles and Inglewood, Florida because the money wasn't yet sustainable for LA, which meant doing time-consuming labor in Inglewood like landscaping that Danny quote-unquote hated.
Like, I fucking hate landscaping.
Dude,
like,
I hate landscaping. Yeah. I still hate landscaping.
Yeah.
It's,
like,
no,
really
in Florida it's just too hot.
Yeah.
It's like fucking really hot. So I was like, I mean, I had a good boss though. He was cool as fuck. Yeah. I mean, he would even let me film on the like job sometimes if something was funny.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate for that, and like he'd pay me in cash and stuff. So it was cool. But yeah, landscaping just sucks.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get money, come to LA, and just keep hustling. I knew that. I think I was gaining like 100 subscribers like a month.
Yeah.
And I knew like if I just kept going, eventually I would be big. Well, anyway,
It was a balance of landscaping and filming content for Danny. It was tough, but the switch to original content in 2014 would end up being the right decision as he was steadily gaining traction. As time went on, Danny began to incorporate pranks in his videos. The most notable ones during the 2015-2016 era was the video prank he did on 𝐓𝐶, which featured Danny posing as a security guard, which resulted in a whole feud between them. There was the going downstairs on a hoverboard video that was his first video to hit 1 million, and his most popular video currently, the falling with the 30,000 pennies video.
No!
Despite all the crazy acts that goes on in his videos, every now and then he would make a video like a Q&A where he would open up to his fans and discuss about life and his aspirations.
If you had to give one tip to someone trying to be successful in life, what would it be, and how do you live it in your life? The biggest thing in being successful, I think, is figuring out exactly what you want to do, and I think that's the hardest thing, and I think a lot of people don't know what they want to do. For example, if I wanted to be an actor, for me personally, I just went to LA with nothing, and I was, you know, couch surfed and was homeless sometimes and just did whatever I had to do because I knew I would eventually be successful. Figure out exactly what you want to do and then go do it. It's fucking common sense, but people can't like comprehend that. If you have big dreams, just know that you're gonna have to make real sacrifices and that it's gonna suck dick. You're not gonna like it all the time, and you're gonna wanna quit and you're gonna wanna give up. It can be hell at times, but in the end, if you just keep going and you know you can make it and you believe in yourself, it's definitely worth it.
The honesty and transparency mixed with the craziness of Danny's content is what really made his fan base go up another level. Because not only he is a prankster who vlogs, but he also shows the relatable human side of him that not many YouTubers from the same generation did. It would eventually help him in the long run as Danny became more known, and the money that came along with it helped him as well. It's very clear to see how much of an influence 𝐒𝐂𝐈𝐾 is to Danny Duncan. I mean, after all, he did state that he watched the 𝐒𝐂𝐈 series growing up, and even inspired to be like 𝐒𝐂𝐈. For people unfamiliar, 𝐒𝐂𝐈 or Camp Kill Yourself was a series of films created by Bam Margera and his friends Brandy Camillo, Ryan Dunn, 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿, Chris Rabb, and others. The videos featured the crew performing various stunts and pranks, mixed with skate footage of Bam and other professional skateboarders.
Shouldn't be playing football out here in a minute. Brand new car.
It's a 96.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, I need to place an order. What kind of combo meals do you have that come with mayonnaise slopped all over it?
This kid wouldn't wake up for the end of the world. Clock him in the head. Oh!
They were known for their reckless behavior and often hurt themselves just for the sake of entertainment. Likewise to what Danny's content persists of. Well, maybe not that similar. You see, 𝐒𝐂𝐈 did some things that you wouldn't see in today's world or even the past. For example, something like this clip I'm about to show you. Warning, it's really graphic and disgusting, so I suggest skipping it if you want to.
Dude, it smells so bad.
Rank.
Yeah, smell it.
Congratulations.
Shit on his lip.
He didn't budge.
He fucking woke me up by putting shit on my face.
Alright, well fucking just get even or something.
I'm gonna fucking kick him in the face. I'm gonna break his nose. I'll fucking piss on his face. I gotta piss. I'll fucking piss on.
The uncensored version is on YouTube if you want to see it for some reason, but I strongly advise you not to watch it. No, but seriously, don't watch it. I mean, it's actually disgusting. I mean, unless you have a shit and piss fetish, then all power to you. Ugh. To put it in a nutshell, 𝐒𝐂𝐈 were the blueprint and pioneers of the internet prank era. So I think it's safe to say that much of Danny's success came from 𝐒𝐂𝐈. But we can't talk about Danny's success without mentioning his merchandise. The Danny 69 brand is one of the biggest merch sellers from an influencer, selling not only on his website, which is the standard for influencers these days, but Danny also sells merch in stores, which is pretty rare to see. And it does make me question why it isn't talked about much in the same breath as Mr. Beast and others. Nonetheless, the brand is thriving like crazy and it seems to reach new heights every year, with things like going on tour and even opening his pie shop. But we can't talk about Danny without mentioning the cultural favorite, Virginity Rocks.
And then what, what's the Virginity Rocks thing? Like, where did that whole idea come from?
I just saw it online. Thought it was funny. I was gonna buy the shirt.
Like somebody had a Virginity Rocks shirt?
Someone was wearing it and I was like, that shit's hilarious. I was like, I like that shirt. And then, so yeah, I was Googling it, trying to find where I could buy one. And I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say I came up with it, but.
No, yeah.
I was trying to find it, I couldn't. The design anyway was whack. I didn't like the design.
Yeah.
So I was like, I already had this like logo, this font I liked. So I was like, had my graphic artist dude. I was like, yeah, put that font and then let's use like college school colors.
Yeah.
And I just did like a USC colorway and like a Pittsburgh Steelers colorway.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we dropped those shirts and that's how it happened.
He soon released the clothing line, and over time it became so successful that his merch would out-earn his YouTube revenue. He would later pick up a deal with the store company 𝐿𝐿𝐴𝐻, which allowed Danny to sell his merch nationwide in all 𝐿𝐿𝐴𝐻's locations. This cemented himself as one of the most successful businessmen on YouTube. The Virginity Rocks apparel would soon become a staple in the pop culture scene, as not only Danny Duncan fans were getting their hands on his apparel, but it was also people who just liked the name of the brand. Virginity Rocks quickly became one of the top-selling items at 𝐿𝐿𝐴𝐻's, but with success also came the criticism for the Virginity Rocks apparel, as kids and teens all over the nation wore the shirt in school, which led to suspensions for anyone who wore it. This sparked massive outrage from parents as they argued that it's a positive message for the youth.
They deemed that it was a distraction to the school.
It's not like it's profanity, no sex. So isn't that what these schools are trying to, educate these kids and, of not doing?
Rocks. No, I got in trouble for it.
To me, I didn't like it personally because it's supporting something with my religion.
Forcing my son to turn something that he believes in inside out is wrong. Controversy surrounding a t-shirt.
Throw it on a shirt!
I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. The Danny Duncan brand is unique compared to other influencers' merch because you don't see this type of stuff often from YouTubers. For example, Danny Duncan condoms. What the fuck? Just imagine you're in the moment with someone and you're about to fuck and then you pull out a condom with Danny Duncan's face plastered on it. That's basically a threesome if you think about it, since Danny Duncan's face is... Alright. In conclusion, his story is cool and inspiring to many people chasing the dream Danny Duncan is living. From starting out broke, sleeping in his cousin's house just a couple of years ago, to now achieving internet celebrity status, building a mega successful merchandise brand, going on tours, while amassing over millions of followers on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. He is one of those few YouTubers that are fearless when it comes to content on YouTube. Everything you see from Danny Duncan's videos is never staged and mostly planned at the last minute, giving viewers an original feel when watching his bizarre, over-the-top videos. A reoccurring theme you see from other content creators is that they start to change once fame and money start to roll in their lives. Some switch their content entirely, ultimately losing the factor of what made them popular in the first place. Some unfortunately quit YouTube for whatever reason, but with Danny Duncan, you get the opposite of that. Danny Duncan's personality hasn't changed before stardom and after stardom. You can go through his older videos and compare it to now, and you will see that he basically has the same personality. Danny's history is very reminiscent to the ones you see in movies. You know, like the one where the main character starts off as a broke nobody who isn't yet respected by people, but eventually rises to the top by networking with people that know people who are famous, and the main character surpasses all of them. And okay, what the fuck am I talking about? Danny Duncan's story is great, that's all I'm saying. Alright, bye.